Hey everybody, this is Gaynor Meilke with the Conscious Success Plan. And today I wanted to talk to you about something that is near and dear to my heart. And I happened to be asked a question when I was on a plane coming back from a trip by a gentleman who had a 3-year-old daughter and an 11-year-old son. And I was coming back from a work trip, and my daughter had joined me at the end of it. And so she was on the plane with me, but sitting separately. And I guess this gentleman had seen us get on together. And when I told him that I was into conscious parenting, he asked me about that. And he said, "So, how do you raise a girl?" And I thought, what a brilliant question. And I have a lot that I'm going to be talking about in regard to that, but I wanted to put it down on a video on just a few highlights from a book that I'm going to write by that title, How to Raise a Girl, a Beginner's Guide, because nobody's an expert in this, but having been a young girl myself at one point, I could probably tell you here's what not to do, and some of the things that I've also tried to do with my own daughter. And I think you know, the most important takeaway is that regardless of gender, whether we're boys or girls or somewhere else on the spectrum, we're all human. And I think that's something that we just want to raise good humans. And I think if you're raising a girl and a boy together, then you need to definitely factor that in as teaching each of them respect for each other and not necessarily treat them differently. So I would say that for a daughter and girls, uh, preserving their sense of themselves as unique and separate from other people is super important, as is maintaining and um, deepening their sense of dignity so that they have self-respect and helping them understand about boundaries and how important those are. And I think also on the flip side for boys, same thing. If we look at each other as humans as opposed to genderized beings, that will help us all a lot. So I would just say beware of the glass cellar and the glass ceiling with girls, and I'll go into those things more deeply when I have this book ready. And then raising sons and daughters with intention and respect, and being non-judgmental so that you have an open relationship with your daughter. Also teach her about the cultural conditioning of the area, the geographic area, and the socioeconomic area, and the psychosocial area that she lives, and help her understand that all of the external are just constructs that have been there for a very long time, and she does not have to subscribe to them, and what the repercussions of that is, and also what are some other ways that she can express her authentic self, and how to notice red flags in relationships from a young age, and that could be all kinds of relationships, making her mission and mind matter, and putting a priority on helping her define who she is, what her gifts are, and what the talents are. And this is the same from boys as well, really. But for girls, because of the male-female dynamic that exists in society at the moment. I hope it will change. There's such a focus on our external, and the patriarchy has taken power from the female gender in some areas and helped to perpetuate a reduced power position for girls. And I think as a father, especially, you need to model respect for all women, and especially for what you do in your own home with your female partner, if you have one, and all other females and people. So, to be non-judgmental of people, to be polite to people, no matter who they are and what their station in life is, I think is super important. And self-defense in all areas, not just physically, sexually, psychologically. And I think as girls get older, it's really important to teach them about some of the negative relationship cues so that they don't fall into traps. And um, really, I'm just looking at my notes here. Teaching dignity over dollars and allowing and empowering and making sure that she can earn her own living so that she's not dependent on anybody. I think that's really, really super important. And whatever choices she makes down the road, I think it's important to educate her that if you choose to give up your earning power, and you choose not to work and be dependent on somebody else, you could get stuck in a situation that you don't want to be in. So that's just the reality of today's society. So I think we want the empowerment of Ophelia, not just saving Ophelia, and allowing that open dialogue um, to, I guess, also empower girls and let them know that their voices matter, that they shouldn't squelch them, and allowing them to do the things that they feel they want to do and not put them into different activities just because you think that's what girls do. And easier said than done, but I know for myself with my daughter, if I could go back and do anything differently, I mean, I think she was very interested in princesses and fashion and things like that. But maybe I would have put the brakes on that a little bit more than I did, and expose her to some other different things. We tried to do the best that we could, but that would be one of the things that I would do. So it's going to be an interesting book. There's going to be a lot of my own story in there about what not to do, and then hopefully some great learnings from conscious parenting to help with where we are today in society and how we really can raise a girl well.